Let's jump to the war here, and today we've got a saving and disaster battle playing as Clan Scryer going up against the Disciples of the Moor, where we've got a weapons team army, but it's actually not a good weapons team army. He's missing a lot of the ingredients that would make it fantastic. I think some people that just like see Rattling Gun and think overpowered unit, but it's not always the case. These units require a fair bit of support. What this army is massively lacking is any kind of frontline distraction, something to hold the enemy back. Plus, usually with a weapons team army, the Skaven in general, you really want to be the attacker. So getting attacked by 2 full stacks of not particularly slow units is not ideal. We should order as many Menace Belows as we possibly can get. I don't think the nuke is going to be particularly handy, but since there's so many of them, it might be good to just use it as early as possible to thin them out. But we'll see. Got to pin them down first. Everything is on max battle difficulty. Let's jump in here and I'll read out the email. So he says, the title of the email is Scrag Slaughters Me. He says, hello legend, I finally run into a true disaster battle situation. Finally managed to get the upgrade for Skaven Blight and just finished recruiting my new army for Ikit when Scrag shows up and decides to absolutely pummel me. I can't even get close to success on this one. If I retreat, the next fight takes place in a very foresty area where I am downslope from the ogres who just run into me and smash me. I don't think this can be saved, but maybe you can try. Yeah. I think a lot of people will look at this and go, this doesn't even look like a real disaster, because it's Skaven weapons teams. But you got to keep in mind as well, Skaven weapons teams are not as good as they were in Warhammer 2. They were better in Warhammer 2. In Warhammer 3, they're just not quite as good. They're like janky. They're way more janky with their fire rates. And these are mostly fresh recruits, so we really need them to fire as quickly as possible. While they've got essentially unlimited ammunition, if the enemy charge into us after us only having shot 1 volley, that's not going to be particularly good. Now, another problem here is actually the map. Now, this map's probably going to be better than the next one, but this particular map here, I've had a lot of painful fights in here because it's kind of bumpy a little bit, and because Rattling Guns are really short units, even just like a little crater in front of them like this can actually cause them line of sight issue for the whole fucking unit. Line of sight is a massive issue in Warhammer 3. It's just not as good as it was in Warhammer 2, where units were just like freaking Hawkeye essentially. And unfortunately this map, all the way through it is just bumpy terrain everywhere. Now normally what I would do is like try to hunker in this corner here. But yeah, they're going to come at us a bit too hard and fast, plus they get a bit of cover from this location. I reckon over here might actually be better, because we are on large unit scale, which means that... I think I need to increase the brightness here, because this... Oh, I get some blood effects in there as well. I need to get down here and see, and I can barely see because it's so damn dark. We need to make sure that no units are going to be obstructed. Because yeah, it's easy to just like set up a line and just assume they're going to shoot, but sometimes they'll just sit there and not shoot, and the game doesn't really let you know that that's happening. Plus another problem that you have with Skaven is leadership. If any of these units break, well obviously they're going to run from the battlefield, and because their units have pretty good leadership, ideally we want them to break. And they're probably not going to. So we want to stagger our units as much as possible, not just create a line. So this here is a bit of a problem. Okay, that one's going to have a hard time shooting in this location. It's really important to get down on the ground and have a look. Like, if you can't see over the ground, neither can they. Yeah, so they've got a bit of cover coming through here. That'd be the worst place for them to come at us. So try to angle that a little bit. This one, hang on. This one's gonna just shoot dirt, isn't it? Really gotta be careful about terrain. Makes such a huge difference if they've actually got a visible line of sight. Because I guarantee you that's what his problem here is. That his units just weren't shooting. And if we could just make sure that all of our guys... Yeah, and basically with this army, it's not bad how it is. It's just not a perfected weapons team army. Loads of Plague Priests are really good for popping down loads of Menace Belows, obviously to bog down the enemy forces. Because when you've only got Menace Below, well, you've got 9 of them here, I can't cast them that quickly. That's the whole point of having like 4 Plague Priests. so that when the enemy army comes, that you can get like a bunch of rats to hold the line down. Because yeah, in most battles I don't end up using all the menace blows. It's just or all the vermintides. Just need to be able to cast it quickly. I don't like this spot here at all. But I can't do anything about it. It's just rough terrain. So we'll try to incentivize them to not go over this way, but let's see, I have to use those units as front line, don't have a choice. Alright, so we staggered our army there. Move up a little bit. I don't think they're going to be particularly useful, but we shouldn't leave them to just fire at will when the enemy actually get close to us, because they'll kill our own units. Make sure we're always firing at basically this range here. Okay, then also I need Ica Claw to try to hold back as many enemy forces as possible. So we've got to go over there and allow for some of them to come over here, but for the most part, just try to keep them bogged down over there. Because yeah, what we want is like one unit to come over here and just get obliterated by rattling gunfire, and then it just happens one at a time. We don't want all 40 of them coming in. There's no way in hell that you can win in that sort of situation. Not with this map anyway. And yeah, I haven't checked out what the other map would look like, but that didn't sound favorable. Right, let's grab this, because we do have second wind serum. Alright, so we want them to start coming as early as possible. So let's pop this down on some Noblars to do some magic damage. Hopefully the rest of the ogres will get started. And yeah, we want them to be chasing after Ikit back this way. We just let a couple of them go over here. I would have sent the regular Doom Flayers over here, but they would have just gotten stuck. How fast is this guy? Holy moly. Sorry about the potion of strength, that's not going to matter at all. Alright, pop this down here, and this is where I'm going to use the nuke. I just need to get them pinned down. Otherwise they'll dodge it. Okay, so hopefully they're bogged down. We're not going to hit that many units, but honestly, just as many as I can bloody well get. Yeah, cool stuff. The legend, you killed your own units. No! Oh. Who cares? Okay, so yeah, it gets rid of a few of them at the back here. Good. See how they're staggering their forces? That's exactly what we want to see. They're visible. I'm not too concerned about them. Definitely don't want to stay in prolonged combat. Yeah, using the menace belows now, as opposed to when the fight starts, just to get them to stagger even more. I reckon that's a good idea. Yeah, put that in between them. Although it would be good to have Ica Claw nearby just to provide a tiny bit of extra leadership for them. Like, leadership auras aren't huge in most cases. Also, any abilities that we can get him to use up, like that, for example, great. I'm going to try to get Scrag to actually come back and fight me in melee. Well, it would be good to kill him. Yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. I'd rather just keep the first wave to be as gentle as possible on us. This is good so far. Good. So we brought him back by a fair bit. It's good to see. Need more of these guys to hang back. Just keep them delayed. We just want a small wave to get there first. And we just sort of act as kind of like a dam and just control how much gets sent over there. Yeah, they got a lot of leadership. Okay, yeah, we got good coverage across there. Nothing wrong with using this since we don't have any plague priests. those would be nice on Claw. And it's really good you got second wind serum. So good job with that. That makes a big difference. Alright, they're coming in over here. Now don't worry about being in guard mode because we won't give specific orders for them. Just let them shoot at whatever they want. Good. So this unit over here, because it came in by itself, it didn't have much morale. And it broke. But now that we've started shooting at things, see they're starting to come at us a lot more hot and heavy. Gotta get more of a tar pit going on here. But so far I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Just keep Scrag back and all of these fuckers as much as we possibly can. Yeah, you're just gonna have to bog them down all the way here. Good, this is exactly what we want. They come in over here, we can focus fire on them, and just they just fucking die. Excellent. Good start to it. Really, really good start to this battle. So I'm not sure if he kept Claw back like this, like way ahead. But yeah, in these sort of situations where you're massively outnumbered, you've got to make sure that when the fighting is actually happening, we're not outnumbered. It's just like wave after wave. Because they've got regenerating ammo, that's not a problem. The problem is their firing speed, not their amount of ammo. More holding them back. Probably use the Menace Belows out front here. But yeah, hold them back over this way. Because also, if you put the Menace Belows out here, it can also block their shots a little bit. But yeah, they're just not going to get close if they keep this up. What happened to this one? Oh, that's probably friendly fire. So far, we have really staggered their advance. Thing is, they only need it. Oh, come on, Ikit, are you fucking kidding me? And he's not even terror routed, he's just straight up routed. He'll rally. It's law friendly. Come on, rally. Okay, I need to still use more of these. Yeah, keep that back. That tyrant there. Is that even a tyrant? No, it's not. It's a whatever. Kill him. I'm really reluctant to actually tell him to shoot him, just because in this game, you tell something to shoot, they're like, oh, shoot. Do you mean move forward? Like, no. So I find just don't give them orders is actually better than giving them orders. It's so stupid. Come on, kill him, kill him. That'd be so good because that way they'll lower their leadership by a bit. And what we do with these guys, we don't send them into the front, we send them around the side. I need to get that second wind serum going. And that's it. Send them around the back so they're chasing. Oh, we didn't fucking kill the guy. Come on, one shot, one shot. Oh, I think he... Well, him leaving the battle... No, we got him. Okay, hold back more of them. Yeah, the Doomflayers are having a bit of a hard time, but Scrag's going down. Got him. So, here's the thing about this one. We took 0 casualties. Even on the Doomflayers. But yeah, that just went perfectly. I wasn't expecting it to go down that well. They just did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was to come at us in waves. So I reckon what happened with him is that he just kept Claw back here and tried to use him as holding the line. And what ended up happening is 40 units showed up over here. They just couldn't dish out damage fast enough. And they overran him. But yeah, the first few units that come down over here and get totally obliterated, that doesn't do anything to our balance of power, because we still end up with... I'm just doing this to regenerate Claw. Still got ammo on everything. Now, I'm not sure if the Doomflayers took some damage afterwards. But yeah, we should try to run down as many of them as we can as well. Okay, it seems like it gets healed as much as he can. Doesn't make any sense to use the Forbidden Rod again. So yeah, just run down as much as we can there. Also, another thing about getting them to stagger their forces, especially when you got this many Rattling guns and you're playing as Clan Scryer, because of the endless drums, you want to be using up that 20% of your ammo as early as possible, so that you can actually get that ability to start triggering close victory, despite 0 casualties. But here's the thing. I made sure that all of my guns had good line of sight. I don't think that's what he did. Because yeah, you could set up in a different location in this battle here, do the exact same thing I did, and just get completely rolled over. Because there's a fucking pebble in front of them, and they're like, oh, I can't see over this pebble! I'm not gonna shoot. Yeah. Just gotta basically just assume that if they don't have basically completely clean line of sight, they're just not gonna shoot. Okay. Because yeah, I'll admit that one looked easy, but I guarantee that if I didn't get down and have a look at where their line of sight was, you know, there would have been many units just been like, oh, I can't see, can't shoot. And of course, for every one of your units that don't shoot, that's a lot of firepower that you're missing out on. I mean, that looks good, but I don't know. I don't do any diplomacy over the end turn, so it doesn't look like they're going to attack us, so that's fine. Okay, so here's another thing. We just got on the Doom Wheel. Get back on the Doom Flayer. Doom Flayer is way better. It's actually quite lucky you weren't on the Doom Wheel for that battle, because they would have pinned us down a lot easier. Alright, let's have a look here. So lots of loyalty. So this guy's army is filled with Warp Fire Throwers, which... that can be a really good trait. That's actually really friggin' good for weapons teams, because the flash bomb is, it slows them down by so much. I'd actually say this would be really good for Icaclaw's army, especially because you have lack of heroes. Yeah, get that. Because then you put it on this guy, you should really get yourself some more heroes. So, while you do have a Skull on him, this would kind of be better, because you don't want him to be taking damage in the first place, but this one here will slow him down by 60%. And of course you can use it fairly often because the cooldown's not too bad. But yeah, that's really bloody good. Get as many of those on your heroes as possible. But of course, I think you can only get that through the thing. We also used up a nuke, but we got plenty of food. It's just a matter of how quickly he's able to make more nukes. Right, he's missing out on warp fuel. Okay. And you should probably go and get rid of them. It doesn't... oh, right, look at this. Yeah, you can easily sort that out. Wait, I think the other army... because it didn't wipe out completely all of them. But yeah, you should...
I will not obey.
The campaign looks like it's going fine. I mean, it's only turn 23. Yeah. Doesn't seem like he's too focused on like pushing them straight up to tier 5. Which it's really, really good to do that. But you gotta make sure you got enough food to do it anyway. Because yeah, this rebel army here could probably capture Miragliano. If you don't have Warp Bomb here or any like defenses, there's like they'll keep recruiting and they'll easily overcome your crappy garrison. There's no doubt about that. And if we have a look at them, yeah, it sucks to have to go back that way. Oh, another thing that you could do, if you recruit a new lord here, if you had a new lord there over the previous turn, you could have ambushed it and the garrison would have come out as reinforcements. So yeah, this is what I sometimes do with whenever I know a rebellion's about to happen. Just recruit a lord there. The army is not within reinforcement range, but when you ambush, the zone of control gets a lot wider. And so it brings in your garrison, so they don't get a chance to recruit over multiple turns, and then you just wipe it out really easily. You don't even need to put in the extra defenses, which I usually do put extra defenses, because you get money from it, and Warp Bomb is just super good. But yeah, you'll easily be able to beat these guys with that, and looking at Scrag, he's ready for peace after that, so it's entirely up to you how you want to go about it. But yeah, the campaign looks like it's going fine. I mean, it's still pretty early on in the campaign. I guess it makes sense why you don't have, 4 Plague Priests in here, because it's too early in the campaign for you to have even got the capacity for that. So I guess that makes sense, and you can always just disband some of them. But yeah, most important thing is be the attacker. That would have made it a lot easier. I mean, I didn't take any casualties, and your army's at full strength now, but I gotta admit, that battle went just like perfectly well. I didn't expect it to. Sometimes the stars align and everything just goes according to plan. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. I don't see anything else to go to do. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.